we have four panelists today. I will introduce them to you shortly. First, I will briefly explain how we are going to proceed. After my remarks, the panelists from Aviation Australia will make presentations and talk about the institute as well as the programs. After that, there will be a short presentation by Study Australia. Then we will have a segment towards the end for the panelists to answer any of your questions. So if you have questions, please text them to us through chat. We have put the participants' mics on mute. We hope to finish this webinar latest by 2:15 p.m. Maldives time. For those of you just joining us through Zoom, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, welcome to our session. As I mentioned, today's topic is choose your aviation career with Aviation Australia. We have four panelists. Ms. Rohini D'Souza, Mr. David Toll, both of them are from Aviation Australia. And we have Mr. Ahmed Nafis, he is an alumni of Aviation Australia, currently works at TMA. And we have Ms. Amnat Hida from Study Australia. Aviation Australia is located in Brisbane, Australia. It was established in 2011 by the Queensland government to support the development and growth of aviation and aerospace industries, both in Australian and international markets. It's a world-class training institute offering courses in engineering, cabin crew, and pilot training to aspiring individuals looking to pursue a career in the aviation industry. For those already leading a career in the industry, Aviation Australia also offers courses to upskill or gain professional development. As a result, Aviation Australia is a partner to over 60 airlines and aerospace companies, governments, defense forces, and regulatory authorities with over 1,000 graduates working worldwide. Study Australia is the Maldivian branch of the Australian education agency, EduTraining Australia. It offers various services, including career guidance, and also assists in choosing institutes, universities, and programs, helps the students with application management and processing visa and supporting their other needs. If we look at the opportunities that the aviation industry offers to those who seek prospective careers, aviation is a major global industry. It's a key driver of domestic and global economic development. It supports travel and tourism, trade and business, transport and logistics, and so on. The aviation sector has 10.2 million direct jobs worldwide at airports, for airlines, and in civil aerospace and navigation services. Overall, it supports around 66 million jobs, which includes related economic activities such as tourism and trade. The air transport sector is expected to grow at 4.3% per annum in the next 2 decades. If this growth is achieved, the air transport sector will have 15.5 million direct jobs by 2036. So if we look at the aviation industry from a career perspective, there are excellent opportunities both in the domestic market as well as the international markets. Now I hand over to Rohini, David, and Ahmad to make your presentations and to tell us about the institute, the programs, and about life in Brisbane and other aspects.
Thank you, Arif. I will share a short video with you first before I begin my presentation. Okay, so hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for taking the time to attend this webinar. We here at Aviation Australia are very excited to have you participate, as this is your first step to an exciting journey in aircraft maintenance engineering. So congratulations on taking this important step. Aviation Australia has campuses all over Australia and also in Saudi Arabia. Our main campus is located in Brisbane, Australia, and you can see from these images just how beautiful Brisbane is. It's a clean, safe and environment and perfect for studying and living. The campus is also located at the Brisbane Airport. This is the precinct that includes both the international and the domestic terminals. And many aviation businesses also are located in this precinct. So, as Arif mentioned, Aviation Australia was established by the Queensland State Government in 2001. We are a CRICOS registered organisation, and that means that we are approved by the Australian Federal Government to deliver training to international students. Aviation Australia is a leading aviation education institute. We have centres in both Brisbane and in Cairns that accept international students, and both of these campuses deliver the Diploma of Aircraft Maintenance Engineering. So at Aviation Australia, we deliver a wide range of courses from remote pilot to cabin crew and aircraft maintenance engineering. As you can see, we also have a number of certifications. These certifications are from airworthiness authorities, such as the Australian Civil Aviation Safety Authority and the European Aviation Safety Agency. We also have approvals from the Gulf Safety Authority and also the UAE and Saudi. So what do you need to be able to enrol and complete this course? You need to be 17 years old at a minimum. You should have your high school certificate and have a pass in mathematics. You should also have an IELTS academic score of around 5.5 or something equivalent to IELTS. And as I understand, you'll be able to complete your IELTS exam in the Maldives, and Training Australia will be able to help you enrol in any IELTS programs as well. So what do you get when you complete the program? You get the Australian Diploma of Aircraft Maintenance Engineering. And as you are aware, the Australian qualification is world recognised. We also deliver the EASA Certificate of Recognition, and this means that you get the approved course. So when you go to apply for positions as an aircraft maintenance engineer, you will be able to show that you have had some practical experience already having studied this course. And you will only need another 2 years of experience in the job before you can become licensed. And if you sit another exam, you can also complete the Saudi and UAE Certificate of Recognition, the GCAA. So the cost of the course is $52,000 and 52,500 Australian dollars. You can pay for the course over instalments, generally every 3 months. They are the instalments of around 7,750 Australian dollars. So the things included in this price is also your course, the textbooks, your uniforms, safety equipment, and the exams. So I'll hand over now to our leading instructor, David Toll, who will talk to you about the subjects, and I'll be here at the end for any questions that you might have. Congratulations on taking this first step, and we hope to see you soon at Aviation Australia.
Thank you, Rohini. Cool. Welcome everyone to the webinar today. So as an instructor at Aviation Australia, I sort of have 3 things that I would like to cover off on today. So in the slide in the background there, I'll give a brief description of each subject that we cover. Second one will be how the training is delivered and how it's laid out so that you get the best training possible. And the third part that I'd like to cover is just the benefits or why you should choose Aviation Australia to start your career in the aviation industry. So, point 1. So to start off with, mathematics. Not particularly in depth, it's generally how maths is applied in the aviation environment. The second one that we would move on to would be module 2, or physics. A lot of the physics is the fundamental building blocks of where we will expand with our theory of things like aerodynamics or how these aircraft fly. Our third module that we'll look at is electrical fundamentals. So electrical fundamentals will be everything from voltage, current, resistance, and all those other terms that you might have heard around electrical. We'll look at those and build an understanding of of what they are and how they apply with respect to maintaining aircraft and keeping them in the air safely. Module 4 is our electronics. So in 2020 and beyond, there's a number of electronic components in our aircraft, essentially making the aircraft easier to fly, or the word that we would refer to that is reducing pilot workload, which again is an advanced way of improving passenger safety. From there, the next step from electronics, which I would suggest is perhaps the analog side, would be to step into module 5, or our digital systems. So digital system is where we teach you all about what we would call a glass cockpit, or the modern era of airliners, the instrumentation that the pilots are viewing, and how a maintainer needs to interact with those to, again, keep those aircraft in the air safely within a set of guidelines. After that, we'll move on to Module 6, which is our materials and hardware. Once upon a time, aircraft were primarily built of aluminium. As we move forward, we're starting to move into more advanced composite materials like carbon fiber and Kevlar, and who knows in the future, potentially even carbon nanotubes and a bunch of exciting technology down there. From Module 6, where we learn about what aircraft are made of, we would then go into maintenance practices. Maintenance practices is how do we tighten up a bolt the same way every time to make sure that it's safe? How do you look at a bolt and make sure that it is safe? Okay? Lock wiring, split pinning. So things that we do that perhaps a car wouldn't need or another vehicle. Aircraft flying around have vibrations and corrosion. How we would handle that to maintain a safe aircraft. From there, we get into Module 8, which are our basic aerodynamics, so how aircraft fly. Module 9 is human factors. Human factors is how the human or how we as people interact with our aircraft and in fact the environment around those aircraft, once again, to make sure that we're doing that in a safe manner. Number 10 is aviation legislation. That is the rules around when we're fixing aircraft. How do we do it? Why do we do it this way? That's I guess the legal side, making sure that we're operating in the right manner. From there, skipped a slide there, sorry. We would then go into Module 11. In the mechanical stream, which is, I guess, our predominant stream where most people start their careers, is Module 11 is aircraft systems. So landing gear, pneumatics, so air systems, hydraulics, cabin systems like in-flight entertainment and all that, those sort of systems. That's where we learn about those. The next one would be Module 12. So Module 12 isn't a standard included. It's an optional extra where we can teach you all about the same types of systems, but how they apply to rotary wing aircraft or helicopters. From there, we go into my personal favorite, which is Module 13, which is all about how radios work, how the aircraft electrical systems work, from generators to navigation, all the, I guess, the really high-tech leading end of technology applied to our aircraft. That's predominantly a avionics or what we would call a B2 license, which is one of your options if you wanted to do that. From there, Module 14. Module 14 is a engine or a reduced engine component specifically for avionics technicians or that B2 license. 15 is our mechanical stream, and that is everything you would ever want to know about how a jet engine works. So the systems around it, how do we start them? How do we control their performance while they're flying? All those really interesting details about jet engines. In the Maldives, there's a number of Twin Otters is probably one of the predominant aircraft. So one of the things that we would do there is Module 17. So 17 is all about propellers. So they hang on the front end of our jet engines and how we use them, why we use them, how to maintain those systems, and all those sort of intricacies. From there, the next three that you would see are just some outcomes that we need to achieve our diploma outcome. So aviation technical English, so that you can read and write to the appropriate standard in aircraft maintenance documentation. Effective leadership is essentially it's teamwork and leading a team in that aviation maintenance environment. And last but not least is the environmentally sustainable work practices. It's a formal covering of, we don't just dump our oil in the ocean. We have beautiful oceans and we want to keep them that way. So we would dispose of our oils or our waste products in the most environmentally sustainable way possible. So that's the main first part, which I guess is the bulk of what we would need to study with Aviation Australia. So the second part of my presentation is how we deliver these things. So the instruction or the course is 18 months long. From there, about 12 months of that is a theory component. Then the remaining 6 months is going to be purely practical. Within that first 12 months, it's predominantly classroom-based theory learning. But at the end of each section, so those modules that I mentioned a moment ago, when we get to the end of module 11, we will go and spend 2 weeks out on the aircraft and physically remove landing gear, physically install brakes, so that before you go and do your theory exam, you've had some practical hands-on training to help you really understand how these systems work. After that 12-month period, when we've made it through all of those applicable modules or our theory, we'll head out to the hangar for about 6 months. And that's broken down into 2 parts, which is our maintenance practices training and our practical consolidation training. And that's basically working on the aircraft for 6 months while being assessed to make sure that you're at the appropriate standard. Some of the things that we need to cover off on there is for you to get that certificate of recognition, which is the letter from Aviation Australia that says you've completed the 2400-hour course. You need to achieve 90% attendance. And I guess attendance generally attributes very closely with your results. The more time you spend at school, the better your results generally are. We accept and we know that everyone's not going to achieve a perfect pass mark every time. So if that does happen, what we offer is 2 days a week. We will have remedial training where you can come and sit with an instructor to make sure that you pass those exams, as well as we have the opportunity to just engage with an instructor and say, look, can you give me an hour of remedial tomorrow afternoon? And 9 times out of 10, the instructors are going to be willing to do that. So from there, my final point would be the benefits of Aviation Australia. So in talking to Ahmed the other day, what we were talking about was that the aircraft that we have here at Aviation Australia, being the Beechcraft King Airs or the C90s, they operate the same engine that's in the Twin Otter aircraft that are being operated in the Maldives at the moment. So the aircraft we have are extremely relevant, and the Maldivian Civil Aviation Authority, or MCAA, will allow you to use that experience. Okay, so that goes towards cutting down the time that you have to spend working after you leave here before getting your license. The other thing is the quality of the training. We have students come from all around the globe to study with Aviation Australia because of our quality. We deliver top-notch training and make top-notch engineers who operate as safe as they possibly can, which in the aviation environment, it's all about quality. Passionate instructors. Look, I was just looking at Google before, and I was trying to work out the comparison. So basically from the main archipelago in the Maldives is about 50 kilometers. To come to work every day, I drive about 3.25 times that, about 180 kilometers a day to work and back. I'm not the only instructor here that does that. It's because we love our job and we love what we do. So from there, one of the other things that we offer is the journal of experience, or a logbook. So that logbook is a legal document that you can hand to your regulator. So being the Maldives Civil Aviation Authority, you could hand them that as a legal document that says, I can fix these planes, I have done this work. So that's what allows them to give you a license. Okay. And the last one is that whilst many training organisations deliver EASA courses, not all providers provide an EASA approved course, which allows you to get that critical, or the important part, which is the certificate of recognition of an approved course. And what that does is it allows you to reduce the time before you get that license, which allows you to be the signature, and that generally comes with the pay increase and an increase in responsibility. So look, that wraps me up. I'll hand over to Ahmed to give of his experiences with Aviation Australia. So I hand it over to you there, Rohini.
Ahmed, you need the mute. The mute is on.
Hi everyone, I'm Ahmed. Just want to share my experience in Brisbane, living in Australia, and memories of Aviation Australia, and my suggestion for the newcomers or new students who want to join Aviation Australia. So let me start with my experience as an international student. Australia is a multicultural country, so the race, the religion, everything was there was like you can work your own things on there, and then the living is very comfortable. And one more thing is there was a family of Maldivian living there, so you can join them. They are very kind, and I was experienced as my family over there. So once comes to Aviation Australia is a world recognized EASA MRO, and you can study there. You will get the certificate of EASA and as Maldivian Civil Aviation approved. And one more thing is there, high quality instructors are there to teach you. And the hangar which we work on there was wonderful, and you will have all updated the facilities are daily updated. For the newcomers, I would like to tell you that the EASA logbook which we will get once you complete Aviation Australia will help you to get through your licensing. And then one more thing, while you are having the experience like King Air, Beechcraft King Air, that is pretty much we are using in Maldives. The engines and all the components are pretty much same as we use in Maldives. So I reckon anybody would like to join Aviation Australia, you will be not regret what you have taken. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rohini, David, and Ahmed. That was very informative. We will pose some questions to you after the next presentation. Ida, it's your turn now. Please tell us about Study Australia and your activities as well as the services.
Let me just share the screen. I'll stop this. Thank you, Arif. Good afternoon, everyone, for joining today's webinar. I'll be giving you a brief introduction about Study Australia and the services we provide. As Arif has mentioned, Study Australia is the Maldivian branch of Australian Education Agency, Edu Training Australia, which is based in Perth. Our main objective is to provide and disseminate information about the opportunities provided for international students in Australia, UK, and Malaysia also. We also offer education, counseling, and application management services to those inquiring. As all our activities are funded by our partner institutes, the services we provide are free of charge. This is one of the advantages of inquiring through us. And talking about the services, here at Study Australia, we have QEAC approved qualified education counselors who can assist with the university application, visa management, visa application, provide you with guidance on your career path and help with the cost estimation and budgeting as well. For the university application management, once you make an inquiry, we will offer courses specifically catered to your needs. This can be specified to a city of your choice, or even based on the rank of the universities and field of study. So in addition to this, we also assist in travel and accommodation management and student life and employment guidance. As we have agents based both in Maldives and in Australia, we will be providing personalized face-to-face assistance if needed, and this can be really helpful when you are traveling to a new city and if you're going to Australia for the first time. Two of our recently introduced services include providing assistance for government and student loan application. So if you have received government student loan this year, who have received the government student loan has already been informed. If you have received it, we will be more than happy to assist you with the next stage in securing a placement and calculating the difference you have to pay if you want to travel to Australia for your studies. And if you have plans to apply for the BML student loan, we can assist with the documentation and provide assistance in making an informed decision as well. So feel free to reach out to us if you require any of these services. Now talking about the education sectors, here we have categorized education sectors based on the majority inquiries we have received in the past. I'll be giving you a short introduction on each of the 6 categories mentioned here. First is the university education. Australia is one of the world's most most popular country for international students. The country is known for its top-ranked university and quality education. The country has a national set of qualifications that are endorsed by the Australian government. This means that there is a national and international recognition of each qualification. And so Study Australia has partner universities from different cities in Australia. So if you have plans to pursue your graduate or postgraduate studies in Australia, we can assist you with choosing your preferred course and understanding the scholarship opportunities available for you at your selected university or institute as well. And moving on to the second education sector, the pathway programs. If you believe that you don't meet any of the entry requirements to do a university degree, and if you have received a low score in your high school certificate, or if your IELTS test didn't go the way you have planned, or if you received a lower score, you can do a pathway program, which can range from foundation to certificate programs and diploma courses as well. there are separate institutes that do provide pathway courses in Australia, and we do have partners with these institutes as well. So you can pursue a pathway course that can give you the direct entry to a second year of a bachelor's degree course from your preferred university. And the technical and vocational education and training TVET courses, these courses provide more practical and work-oriented occupational skills compared to university or higher education. So this can be a way for you to kickstart your career, give it a little boost to reach your next promotion. So focusing on aviation sector, we are happy to be partnered with Aviation Australia and other aviation course providers as well from around Australia. If you have plans to major in the aviation sector, we can assist in finding placement to complete your diploma in aviation focused on maybe flight instructor, instrument, and getting your commercial pilot license as well. And we can also, in addition to this, you can make arrangements for pre-vocational aero skill trainings and refresher trainings for cabin crews and pilots too. And the other sector, English language courses, I think this was mentioned before as well. And Australia is an ideal place to learn English. There are different types of English courses you can pursue. If you plan to do a short-term English course or a long-term one prior to your studies, we can assist you with it as well. You are allowed to do a course with a duration of less than 3 months on tourist visa, which can be an amazing experience, taking into consideration that you will be surrounded by people who speak English language. And the primary and secondary education. This is one of the most inquired sector by students and parents in Maldives. Australia provides one of the best education opportunities for children. With its diverse population, they have private and public schools available for international students. If you have plans to study a postgraduate course, your children can be enrolled free of charge. Also, if you are living outside of Australia and you are interested in choosing a different schooling for your child, we can assist you to getting them enrolled in one of the primary school of Australia. Along with the student's enrollment, one parent can get a guardian visa to travel and stay in Australia for the duration of your child's education, which can be very beneficial taken into consideration. Parents can work in Australia while they're there. And there are several families who move just to have provide education for their children. And when compared to Singapore and Malaysia, it is much more cost effective when it comes to primary and secondary education. And then there are the upskilling courses. This is if you're interested in taking a short break from work or doing an upskilling course, even if it is part of your organization's requirement or part of your personal growth, this can be the right choice for you. So the upskilling courses provided by Australia is short and can be an investment to your personal development under the guidance of experts, trainers, and industry professionals. These courses can also boost your career and can be how you discover your passion maybe, and can give you a promotion, or you can take different courses and take different topic areas for a test drive and see if this is what you are meant to do, something like that. And then there are the study tours and exchange programs. These are short and tailored courses courses and training programs for small groups. This can be arranged by your company or to a group of individuals with similar interest to discover the working culture and familiarize yourself with new practices, methods that can later be incorporated in what you do. We do arrange these kind of study tour exchange programs, maybe for a group of teachers or industry professionals, maybe a group from the resort as well. Resorts as well have inquired to go on study tours to Australia. So this can be arranged through us. And now the most important slide, benefits of studying in Australia. Australia provides numerous opportunities for international students, and in the country is culturally diverse, making it easy for anyone from any background to move and fit in. High quality education, Australia provides high quality education, which I highlighted before. And the number one reason for choosing Australia, this can be one of the best reason. In addition to this, what I covered in education sectors, you can work while you're studying as well. Then there is the advantage of not being available in many other countries. If you go to UK or maybe Singapore, Malaysia, the opportunities to work is very scarce. It's not really available for you, though there are few students who do work while they study. This is not only a cost-effective way, but a great learning experience for students, especially younger students embarking on a bachelor's degree right after they finish high school. This work experience can benefit for their career. Also, though I have mentioned this before, if you are studying a postgraduate course in a master or PhD, your children can be enrolled into one of the public schools in Australia free of charge. And the last point is I want to highlight is about the graduate visa. This is a very attractive offer for many international students as work experience outside from their home. This country is considered a huge plus point. If you undergo a course with a duration of 2 or more years, you can be entitled for a graduate visa for 3 years. During this 3-year period, you can work and seek permanent employment as well. And moving from benefit, let me conclude by telling you why you should contact Study Australia to assist you with your next education opportunity. We have qualified agents, as I mentioned before, and with extensive knowledge and up-to-date information. And our services are free of charge, as our partner universities fund all the activities. In addition to this, we have agents at both ends. So in the case you require assistance while you are in Australia, our agents will be available to assist you there too. So yeah, that's all from me. If you have any queries about anything mentioned throughout the presentation, feel free to ask today during the Q&A session, or else give us a call at the numbers mentioned in the slide, or send us an email. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you very much, Ida. We have come to the Q&A part of the webinar. We've got a few questions. Most of them are related to the Institute Aviation Australia. The first question is from Aisha. What are the chances for a business stream student to join aircraft maintenance course? Rohini and David?
Yeah, I might take that question. Thanks, Arif. So definitely business students can certainly apply for this course, and I'm very encouraged to hear that they are interested in the course. This is a very rewarding course. As I mentioned, the entry requirements are the high school certificate. So if you have done any further study after high school, that will be looked at and reviewed as well as part of the entry requirements. So as long as you've passed maths at that grade 12 level, you will be accepted into this course, and you have your English levels equivalent to the IELTS 5.5. So we certainly welcome interest from any business students. I think this is quite a technical course that would be quite different but enjoyable to those students.
So that means whatever physics or maths requirement will be covered in the course, right?
Yes, so as David said, we do a maths subject, and we also have a physics subject. So physics is not a requirement, but it would be of benefit if the student had some prior learning in physics, so has completed a subject in physics before. That would be of benefit, but it's not a mandatory requirement. Only maths is.
Okay, thank you. That's very clear. The next question is from Hasid. He says that he has completed all his modules and whether he can apply for a job there. I mean, it must be in, he must be referring to Australia.
I might take that one as well. So because we are a training institute as our primary focus, we can't really comment on the availability of jobs for non-Australian citizens. There are plenty of opportunities, both here in Australia and overseas, within the aviation sector. So I definitely encourage the student to send their applications to as many recruitment agencies as possible. I can mention here in Australia, there is a recruitment site called seek.com, and I would encourage anyone looking for a job to maybe visit that website, seek.com.
Thank you. Jennifer, a question from Jennifer. Do you have other courses aside from aircraft maintenance?
So Aviation Australia does offer a short cabin crew course, as well as some advanced pilot courses. So you would have needed to acquire your pilot license first before you come and do those courses with us. Traditionally, the aircraft maintenance engineering diploma has been the most popular with the international students, because that is the course that we have the EASA, the European recognition for, and that gives the global career mobility to these students. So, you know, you can go and work back home in the Maldives or anywhere in the world after receiving, achieving that diploma and that EASA outcome.
Thank you. A question from Naufa. She wants to know whether she could do the B2 course right away after completing the B1 course, and what's the duration of the B2 course?
So we do have a B2 extension course. That course generally runs for around 4.5 months, okay? But the requirement for that course is that you have successfully completed the B1 and have the approved course certificate of recognition. So getting exam credits for B1 won't allow you to enter into the B2 extension course. You need that full approved course certificate of recognition, COR. So in terms of when do we run that B2 course, it's generally run on demand. So if we have students interested in having completed the B1 course successfully, we will then run that B2 extension course. And what the student achieves after completing both the B1 and the B2 course is 2 diplomas and 2 certificates of recognition for the approved course, the EASA approved course. So they get the B1 certificate of recognition and the B2 certificate of recognition.
Thank you. For someone holding a diploma in aircraft maintenance engineering, what are the pathways for further education?
Great question. So Aviation Australia does have some university articulation agreements. And what that means is that universities such as Griffith or at the Southern Cross University have recognised Aviation Australia's diploma of aircraft maintenance engineering, and you will receive credits towards completing the degree. So if the degree was 3 years, you might receive credits for 1 year of that degree, and so you only need to complete 2 years. In some cases, with some universities, you might receive 1.5 years credit and only have to complete the other 1.5 year. It depends on what university you go to and what course you want to progress onto. So whether that's aviation management or a Bachelor of Engineering, it will depend on the specific course and university. But we can speak individually to any student that is interested in progressing on after that.
Thank you. During the COVID situation, how are you managing the courses and the studies?
Fantastic. So we've started an intake now last week with a lot of international students from all over the world. And these students are logging in online, or there's some students that had already made it into Australia previous to the COVID crisis and have been able to extend their student visa and stay on in Australia to complete this course. So some students are completing it in the classroom, while others are completing it online, but by an instructor. So it is led by an instructor. It is not a self-paced online course. The instructor guides the student through all the subjects as if the student was actually in class.
Thank you. The other question is regarding accommodation. What are the types of student accommodation available near the campus?
Yep. So in Australia, and then in particular here in Brisbane, we have a whole range of student accommodation. So we have homestay, where you could stay with an Australian family and experience the real Australian family lifestyle. Or you could stay in purpose-built student accommodation, and there's a whole range of providers based either in the city or throughout Brisbane with direct bus routes here to the campus. Or you could choose to rent out an apartment and stay with some other friends or other locals in an apartment or a residential property in Brisbane. But Ahmed could probably provide you with his real life situation on where he stayed when he studied here at Aviation Australia.
Yeah, I was in Escott, just nearest suburb of Eagle Farm, where the Brisbane airport was located. So there was a direct bus towards the school. So it's very easy, very convenient to go there.
How long did the bus take?
For me, it is 19 minutes.
Okay, just a short drive.
Yep.
We have another question. How does the overseas student health cover work?
So the students are covered and must be covered through to be able to get their visa. So they take on their own coverage. And we have a student support services team here at Aviation Australia that works with each of the individual students to take on the appropriate cover, whether it's an individual cover or a family cover. And then if there is any medical issues here, the student support services officers can assist students in making appointments with doctors or dentists or any specialists that they need. Our student support services team are very helpful in providing some information, advice, guidance on accommodation issues or questions, on health cover, on social activities, or maybe even some volunteer activities here in Australia, if that's what the students are interested in. The student services team also runs many cultural events throughout the year and encourages all of our international students to share their cultures with the other students as well as domestic students. So it's always learning about all the exciting countries, cuisines, and the different cultural activities that happen overseas and that we share here when they arrive on campus.
We've come to the, yeah, go ahead, please. We've come to the last question. It's regarding entry requirements. It says, I'm really interested to pursue this career. I have been in the aviation field as a ground staff for more than 8 years. What I'm missing is year 12 A levels, year 12 slash A levels, A level maths. Is there any pathway or additional course to pursue this career? Also, is there an age limit?
Definitely no age limit, and I definitely welcome mature age students as well. We have a whole range of students here, from students that have just finished high school to students exactly like the question that's come through, where they have decided to change the career that they've been working in and want to explore something new or extend themselves within the industry that they are working in, like aviation. So definitely welcome them. This particular case sounds very interesting, and I think if they can contact either myself, David, or my colleague Simone, who's also here online, at the international.aviationaustralia.aero address, that would be really beneficial, and we can really just have a look at this particular case and work through it. Or if they even contact yourselves at EduTraining Australia, and we could all have a meeting with this particular person and work through their case.
I'm sure Ida will also follow up on that. So we've thank you everyone. We have come to the end of the webinar. Thank you especially our panelists Rohini, David, and Ahmad for taking time to participate and contribute in the session. A recorded version of this webinar will be available on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing you in our future webinars. Good luck and be safe. Thank you.